Everything you've ever been told about health is missing one crucial element. The reason why people with perfect blood work still feel exhausted all the time. It's why elite athletes get injured in their prime, and it's why your doctor cannot seem to explain why you feel this way. There's an epidemic of young men who have low testosterone, low energy, high body fat, and it seems like in their early 20s, they're merely a shell of who they were just a few years ago in high school. And this isn't some conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that everything modern medicine has ever said is wrong, but they're missing something because the way they look at health is fundamentally flawed. And the solution is something called bioenergetics. This is a concept that was really pioneered by Dr. Ray Peat, but it was really started in the early 1900s by several prominent scientists, including Dr. Warburg, for whom is named the Warburg effect, which is a well-known phenomenon in cancer research. This is not something shady, it's not something underground, it's just something that modern medicine has missed. So what is bioenergetics? At a very core level, bioenergetics is just the idea that everything in your body is dependent on energy. And more specifically, that energy and structure are interdependent at every level. What does that mean? Well, let's look outside of biology because this principle is true everywhere you look. Structure is simply order, and order is the opposite of chaos. So let's say you have a messy house. It's chaotic. There's stuff everywhere. What needs to happen? You need to go pick up everything, put it in order, give it structure. And what does that require to make happen? It requires your energy. You have to physically go around and clean the house, do this, do that, and make it ordered and structured. There's order and structure inside of every single atom in the universe. And there is a force that holds all the pieces together to keep it structured, or else it would explode and cause a nuclear meltdown. Everywhere you look, order and structure require energy because the universe's natural tendency is towards chaos. That's called entropy. It's a fundamental idea in physics. And the opposite of entropy is structure. And all structure requires energy. So what does entropy and chaos look like in the body? It looks like dysregulated hormones. It looks like unstable energy. It looks like high inflammation. It looks like going bald young. It looks like aging. It looks like your skin getting worse. Those are all products of biological chaos. Now, what does structure and order look like in the body? It looks like everything running smoothly. It looks like your hormones being in order. It looks like your body taking care of various processes like skin repair. It looks like good sleep and the ability to heal inflammation. It looks like a full head of hair. It looks like somebody who's young and vibrant and virile and energetic. So really, bioenergetics is just the idea that all of these negative things that happen in the body, all of these deleterious health outcomes are because of chaos. And the only way to reverse the chaos is to give the body more order and structure, which requires energy. And energy in this context literally means biological energy. And biological energy is produced through the metabolism. When people hear the word metabolism, they think of, oh, this guy, he's lean, he has a fast metabolism, or this guy's fat, he has a slow metabolism. We generally only think about it in terms of weight loss or in terms of, this guy's fat, this guy's skinny. But really, metabolism is just the process of your body converting nutrients, food, into cellular energy in the form of ATP. So the foundational view of bioenergetics is that optimizing your body's natural energy production systems is the only way to fix all these problems, to cure things, and more importantly, to prevent chaos happening in the body, to prevent all these things from happening, to prevent high inflammation, dysregulated hormones, bad sleep, cancer, disease. But the problem is the modern health industry, modern medicine, does not look at the body and health through that lens. Modern medicine treats the body like it's a car. It has all these different parts that are all separate and distinct from each other. And they think that, oh, if one of these parts is broken, you can just go in there with some kind of treatment, some kind of medicine and fix it. And then that makes the whole system work. Whereas bioenergetics looks at the body, looks at a symptom, something that's wrong, and says, where is the energy deficiency here? How can we reroute more energy? How can we produce more energy so the body has the actual tools that it needs to fix this chaos and give it order and structure? And of course, the answer to that is optimizing the metabolism. Now, what does that actually mean practically? Well, all of metabolism happens in the mitochondria. Your teacher probably told you that it's the powerhouse of the cell. And it's because that's where all the energy production happens. And the most efficient form of metabolism that yields the highest amount of ATP and the lowest amount of waste byproducts is called oxidative phosphorylation. There's other stages of metabolism like glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, but oxidative phosphorylation is the most efficient way for your body to turn nutrients into energy. But that's just the actual core where it all happens. Upstream from that, you have the thyroid, which produces thyroid hormones, which regulates your metabolism. But the thyroid only produces the inactive thyroid hormone T4, which then needs to go to the liver to be converted into the active form T3. And then you have other hormones and other things that antagonize metabolism. Stress hormones like cortisol, when they're raised, your metabolism is lowered. And possibly the most important part of this entire equation is actual nutrients. Your body requires physical nutrients, minerals, and vitamins in order to efficiently perform all these metabolic processes. And this is why modern medicine fails in this regard, is because they look at someone who has a slow metabolism and they might think, okay, well, he has a thyroid issue, so we're going to give him T4. But then what happens if he has a sluggish liver that's not converting the T4 into the T3? Why did the doctor never tell him about phosphorus to calcium ratio in his diet and how that affects metabolism? And on and on and on with all these minute details that mostly come down to nutrition. But I'm getting a little off track here. This is not an in the weeds video. This is an introduction to bioenergetics, what it is and why you need it. So to bring it back around to how this actually affects you. If you're anything like a lot of the young men that I talk to and that I work with and that I coach on a daily basis, you've probably experienced your general feeling of energy declining since you were younger. Even if you're still only in your 20s, but especially if you're in your 30s. You might have a lower libido than you did. Your hair is probably falling out a little bit, or at the very least is not as pristine as it might have been 10 years ago. You might have trouble falling asleep, or you're waking up groggy, you're waking up with a gummy worm down there. Maybe your digestion isn't as good as it used to be. Your face is a little puffier than it used to be. All of these things at the end of the day are symptoms of having blockages somewhere in your energy production system, because this is all entropy. This is all chaos. It's your body coming apart and not being structured and in order. If your body was completely ordered and structured, your sleep would be good because your body wants to have good sleep. It's chaos and lack of energy to order that chaos that's causing it. And the same goes for all these other symptoms, which is why you've probably tried a bunch of different things to try to fix these isolated symptoms. You might have tried certain things on your hair to regrow it. You might have tried a sleep supplement or some kind of bedtime hack to sleep better, but it never seemed to fully fix the issue, because it's like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. You can take all the sleep supplements in the world and have the darkest room in the world. You can take all the nootropics and stimulants you want, but it doesn't fix the core issue that on a biological level, your body is not producing as much energy as it needs in order to give itself order and structure. Now, this whole idea of bioenergetics or peating or repeat dieting was very fringe for a long time, but it's just now starting to come to the mainstream. You have guys that are doing actual research on this, like George I. Dinkov. You have the old people who are promoting it, like Danny Roddy. And you're starting to see more people in the media mention PD principles. You might have seen memes about Coca-Cola being healthier than a salad. People are starting to wake up to the reality that modern medicine has missed this, that they have not thought about the body in context of energy. They're not thinking enough about metabolism. And I know for me personally, I've been in the health and fitness space for over 10 years at this point. I did my first diet when I was 12 years old, but I really got into it when I was 15 or 16. And ever since then, I've tried all the different diets. I've tried all the different hacks, all of this, all of that. I've been experimenting for 10 years. So I had a background in and a pretty functional understanding of the body and biology and various processes. When I first found out about bioenergetics, everything started making complete sense, because I already knew how the body worked, because I already knew a lot about biology, because I already understood diet and nutrition and training. When I looked through everything through the lens of bioenergetics, it was like a light bulb went off. It's like everything makes sense now. It's all energy. Now, this is a high level overview of what bioenergetics is. If you want to get more in the trenches about how to actually optimize your energy production, I'm going to be making more videos on those topics. And I talk about that every day on my other platforms, on Instagram, on X. I'm ReeceBrah or reecethebrah on all these other platforms. And if you want the longer form, more in-depth stuff, that's what we're going to talk about here. So make sure you subscribe.